I don't know. I don't know if I can do hi, welcome to my channel without laughing. Hi, I'm Al the Botanist, and today we're going to be unboxing a Monstera Thai Constellation from Carnivoro. This is from, how did you pronounce it? Carnivoro? That's probably how you pronounce it. This is supposed to be a Thai Constellation from them. I think it has 2 or 3 tiny baby leaves. Here's their card. Oh. I have my receipt, Thai Constellation unpotted. They're in the bottom wrapped in craft paper. So this is my guy, Thai Constellation. And then it's number 93. They let you like pick out which number plant you want to get. I looked at them all and then I picked the one that had the most variegation that I liked. I'm like really nervous opening this. I don't want to like cut a leaf or something, or most of it. She is, okay. Ugh. Those are my little baby leaves. It has 4 leaves actually. I thought it was gonna have 2 or 3. Good variegation, so I'm pretty hype. I wanna cut out the rest of the paper. It shipped in bare root with sphagnum moss. It arrived in pretty good shape for being in the mail 4 days. I would like to get it into soil as quickly as possible. Okay. Like I'm glad it's taped safely, but also this is so much tape. Trying to get a little tear in the saran wrap. Honestly, a plant that's shipped well takes forever to unwrap. What matters is that it arrived safely. Want to smell? Good. Okay. All right. Do you see the moss? Do you want to sniff the moss? Yeah, so this moss is still damp, so that's good. I was a little worried because the moss on the top was dry and I want to make sure the roots aren't going to be dry. Try and do this delicately because I don't want to hurt any roots. It's hard because sphagnum moss kind of can look like roots. Like when it gets old and like white like this, it looks a little like roots. I don't use sphagnum too much in my potting mix just because it's like a sponge and it really holds water. And then once it dries out, it's really hard to just rehydrate it until it's like good. Some of it is really clinging to these roots, so like I might leave the bits that like the root hairs are just clinging to because I don't want to stress it out too much. But in general, the roots look really healthy. When I get a new plant like this, usually I look for like root rot, which is like brown or slimy roots, and I don't see any of that here. In this case, the roots are really white in color, which is good. It has 3 leaves. This little one's just like the baby first leaf, and these 2 are small leaves, so the juvenile form Monstera leaves don't have like the holes in them. And then this newer one that's a lighter green and is kind of shiny is a new leaf that is putting out right now. So I can see right now that has some variegation, but it's much easier to tell when the leaf is fully mature because it gets greener. 2 really pretty leaves, and I'm seeing a new growth point here that might be like an aerial root. It has good, well-established roots down here. It looks ready to be potted up and really happy and healthy. I have this guy right now. He's pretty much bare root. He has a little bit of sphagnum moss stuck to the roots, and I'm just gonna leave that because I don't want to damage any of the root hairs or anything. Repotting and being mailed across the country is probably enough of a shock. I think he's ready to be potted up. So this is just a mixture of potting mix and perlite that I usually use for my tropicals, especially, you know, plants that don't like to get wet feet like Monstera and begonias. Fill this like part of the way up. This is actually a pot that I 3D printed with the intent of making it look like a pipe from Super Mario Brothers. I used to have a piranha plant in it, but, well, a Venus flytrap, which is, I guess, the real life equivalent of a piranha plant. It like didn't do well in this container. Just it doesn't hold water as much as the Venus flytrap likes, but I figure that'll be good for this Monstera. Eventually, you know, since it's a Thai Constellation, I'll want to get a nice pot for it. Burying it, patting down the soil so it's pretty firm, using a pretty aerated mix. I'm not burying it too deeply because I see like there's a little aerial root starting to form here, and I want to make sure that's like out in the air where it wants to be. I know you can point the aerial roots back into the soil and they'll be fine, but in general, I don't really like to do that. I just like to let them hang, so. I know you want to be included, I know. For starters, I'm just gonna water this guy. And then this media, like I said, was really dry. I haven't used it in a while. It's not immediately taking the water. It needs a minute to like sit in the water to kind of absorb it. Pour some more water in there and then just give it a few minutes to soak up.
Thanks, Rosie.
So now while I'm doing this, I'm actually also gonna repot my Philodendron Pink Princess, which I also got from Carnivero, and then it also came in sphagnum moss, and I just wanna switch it over to potting mix. So this guy's like lightly moist now. That's what I like to see. It's like sphagnum moss on the top and then regular potting mix underneath, I think. Gently just like massaging the pot here so that I can most easily get this guy out. I was worried that it was all sphagnum moss or mostly sphagnum moss, and then I would have wanted to repot it, but it's just a little moss on the top, so that's okay. Let him there. And so I've noticed this plant seems to have a lot of guttation, which is weird. It's been having some guttation, which is like when at just the end of the leaf, I guess a biological structure called a hydathode that can release excess moisture in the leaf. So I frequently get little drops on the end of this guy in the morning, which I think means he's well hydrated, hopefully not too well hydrated. Put him back over there, and then this guy's soaked up enough water so I can find a spot for him now too. This guy needs medium to highlight like a regular Monstera, but you also don't want to give it too much because you can get burning on the patches of the leaf that are white. This guy doesn't have too much white right now, so I'm not too concerned. So I think I'll leave him on the shelf with these other guys because I know they get a decent amount of evening sun and they seem to be happy here. So I'll move him back and slide this guy right in here. Hopefully he'll grow out of that spot relatively quickly and we can move him down on the ground with some of my bigger plants. Thank you for watching my first video. Today we unboxed a Monstera Thai Constellation and potted that up, and then checked out my Philodendron Pink Princess. And we were gonna repot that, but we actually kept it in the pot since it didn't really need new soil. So please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, and I hope to share more plants with you in the future.